We are here to submit our game picks. It's week 9 in the NFL. Last week we both went 9-7B. This on the season puts me at 38-21. You at 43-16. So I'm still about 5 games behind. Let's see if I can't make it up this week, though. Let's see if I can't gain some ground on you. Right out the gate, we have a good game for Thursday Night Football. The Houston Texans are taking on the New York Jets. Who are you taking?
This is a tough one, man. A lot of different storylines here. Texans wide receiver room is pretty much almost gone besides St. Dell right now. I mean, Collins will come back at some point. Diggs is out, though. And then the Jets, dude, like, you get everything wrong with them. They just lost to the Pats last week. But they're at home, and again, the Texans are kind of beat up. Honestly, dude, it's kind of coin toss. I'm gonna go with the Texans here, just because I think they are a better overall team, and just the Jets again, like they lost to the Pats. They kind of been like flatlining a little bit. Now, is this the week where they kind of put stuff together? Maybe, but I'm gonna go with the Texans. I feel like they are the better team.
For me, I agree. It's 100%. It's a toss-up. It's even the betting line says that I think the Jets are favored by 1.5 here. You're right. A lot of things are going wrong for the Jets right now. They haven't won a game since they fired Robert Saleh. On the flip side, the Texans are now down another receiver. They're down Nico Collins. Now they're out for Stephon Diggs for the entire year. It's going to be a tough one here. It's a battle of good defenses and potentially some struggling offenses. For me, I'm leaning Jets actually, because for one actually main reason that kind of breaks off into 2 different reasons. To me, it's the penalties for the Texans. Consistently, they have shot themselves in the foot this season, and it's made games way closer than it should have, and it's actually cost them a couple of games. To pair that, you're playing on Thursday Night Football, and we all know how primetime games are in penalties. They just seem to fly more. And I think that's not going to work out well in the Texans' favor. I think also Devontae Adams gets another year of learning the offense with Aaron Rodgers, or relearning the offense with Aaron Rodgers, get that rekindled partnership going. I think it's still a close one, but I think the Jets ink this one out here.
I like it. Next, we have the Pats versus the Titans. Who are you picking here?
I think both teams lose.
Can we choose tie?
It's a tough one because both these teams are bad for different reasons. The Titans definitely have a problem at quarterback. Will Levis, I believe, is still hurt. We filmed this on Tuesday, so it's hard for us to always get the injury updates. But last we heard, Will Levis is still hurt. And on the Patriots side, well, it's still a bad roster. I'm going to go with the Patriots in this one because Drake May, I think, he's getting more confident every week. They just got a big win over the Jets. In fact, they're feeling so confident right now in that win that they're actually looking to be buyers at the deadline. I think I just saw a tweet about that today. So I'll take that offense over the Titans. I just don't think they're getting anything on offense right now from the quarterback position. At least with the Patriots, you have something there. And they still have a solid defense there in New England. So I'm going to take the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going to the same reason because they're riding out the win from last week where they were the underdogs to beat the Jets. Big win for them. And, there's nothing really to be excited for the Titans. I'm sorry if you're watching this, you're a Titans fan right now. It's not a whole lot of juice going on, at least with the Pats to have, the Drake May storyline going on and whatnot. So, yeah, give me the Pats here.
Perfect. On to the next one. We have an NFC South matchup of some bottom dweller teams here. We have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Carolina Panthers. Who are you taking?
Will this be the week that Carr comes back? I don't know. But I think regardless, still give me Saints. Panthers are so bad. There's nothing really else to say about it. Give me Saints.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing to me about the Panthers right now, at least most interesting thing to me about the Panthers, is actually not the quarterback room, it's the wide receiver room. And not even because of Xavier to get their first-round pick. They have a undrafted free agent there, Jalen Coker, who has been very underrated. He's had limited opportunity, but in that limited opportunity, he leads the Panthers in most advanced metrics. I believe we were talking before, catch percentage over expectation, yak yards over expectation, average yard per catch. There's a lot of advanced metrics that he's actually leading the Panthers in, and it's a very underrated player. It's the only reason really to watch the Panthers right now. but I agree with you. No matter who's playing at quarterback for the Saints, whether it's Derek Carr or Spencer Rattler, I do feel like the Saints should pull this one out.
There we go. Next, we have the Broncos versus the Ravens. Who are you picking here?
This is a surprise playoff matchup, early playoff matchup. I know we weren't really expecting that from the Broncos coming into the year. We did put out a video talking about Bo Nix and our expectations for him in that Sean Payton offense and how defense have kind of adjusted this year. But I don't think even we expected it to go this well this quickly. So if you're not aware, the Broncos were actually the 5th seed right now in the AFC, and the Ravens are the 6th. So this could have huge playoff implications down the road in wildcard seeding. It's going to be in Baltimore, and I like the way Bo Nix is playing. And that defense for Denver is a top 3 unit in the league. You can very much make a case it's number 1 even. But Lamar Jackson is playing at an MVP level, and that's a tough man to stop when he gets going. Even though they did just have an upset loss against the Browns. Give me the Ravens in this one. What about you?
Yeah, give me the Ravens. It's actually wild how the spread is close to 10 points right now. I feel like I like the Broncos point spread there potentially, just because the Ravens are kind of shown, at least on defense, that like they're not very tough this year so far on like defense. But I don't think the Ravens let themselves lose this game. Like as you said, this game could have potential playoff impact later on because they're both 5-3, and actually the Ravens are like a seed below the Broncos right now in the broader playoff picture. So I think they're come in ready, hyped up. Give me the Ravens here. Next we got the Raiders versus the Bengals. Should be kind of easy. Who are you picking here?
I will do kind of like I did with the Panthers. I will give you something exciting to watch for if you're going to turn into this game for the Raiders. Brock Bowers is actually leading all tight ends. Rookie Brock Bowers is leading all tight ends in receiving yards. I believe we saw he's leading in receptions. He's got like 52 receptions. The guy is having a phenomenal year. Unfortunately, he's on the Raiders, so it's not getting talked about because the team itself is terrible. But if you're going to tune into this game for whatever reason, you got to keep your eye on Brock Bowers. He's been phenomenal this year. But with that being said, I am going to take the Bengals in this one. Every game from them at this point is a must-win. They can't afford any slip-ups. The Steelers are already leading the division, I believe, at 6-2. They need to cover as much ground as they can. Give me the Bengals in this one.
Yeah, same here, Bengals. I got nothing else to add besides that Raiders are, of course, not that good, and Bengals' backs are against the walls, so give me the Bengals.
Perfect. On to the next game. We have the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Cleveland Browns. Let me phrase it. The Jameis Winston Browns. What are you taking?
Dude, this is actually kind of hard because I want to buy into the Browns hype. But I feel like they're also just so risky because they're the Browns. So I don't know. Look like Chargers are 1.5 point favorites. I'm looking at the injury report, even though it is Tuesday, so nothing really is out there yet. Shit, dude. Honestly, give me Browns, bro. Give me Jameis. Give me Winston here.
Damn.
Come on, man.
Damn. I was gonna try to sneak in a Browns pick there to see if I couldn't get one leg up on you. Yeah. The Browns have came out shocked last week against the Ravens. They played well. I think what we saw was kind of what we expected. Is Jameis Winston looks much better in this offense than Deshaun Watson does. But there's still a huge risk with Jameis Winston. He's still that turnover machine we saw back in Tampa where he had the 30 touchdown, 30 pick season. There's a lot of balls in that game that definitely could have and should have gone the other way. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to take the Chargers on this one because I do need to steal a win somehow in this bracket. But
come on, James.
I don't think the Chargers are as forgiving of Jameis's mistakes as the Ravens were.
Go. Next, we got the Dolphins and the Bills. Who are you taking here?
I need another win here. Give me the Dolphins. No, I'm just kidding. The Dolphins, the upsetting game last week. Tua's first game back, it looked like they had Arizona on the ropes until Arizona mounted another comeback this season and pulled off the win in the final seconds. This is obviously an AFC South AFC East divisional matchup that's going to have another huge playoff implications if Miami wants to keep their season alive at all. But Josh Allen's playing out of his mind. He's only got 1 pick on the season. 14 touchdowns to 1 pick. He's actually 3rd on the year in EPA, and he's in MVP consideration, and honestly, you could very strongly make a case that he should be leading that conversation with the way he's played this season. They have Amari Cooper, Kevin Coleman. Give me the Bills. It's hard to pick against Josh Allen with the way he's playing so well. So give me the Bills in this one.
Yeah, the Bills are probably my favorite team to watch this season. I think I've been saying that like every single week. They're just so fun to watch. Allen's so fun to watch. They're making stuff happen on offense. Give me the Bills here. I think it's a pretty easy choice for me.
Yeah, you've been a huge proponent of the Bills, and another specific player we will talk about later on in our game picks, who actually just got promoted finally to starter. We've been arguing for that for weeks now, but you've definitely been on the Bills train all year so far. Up next, though, we do have the Dallas Cowboys, who are reeling after another loss against the Atlanta Falcons, who are flying high after a divisional win. Who are you taking?
Part of me just wants to take the Cowboys because it's like, man, they're 3-4. Like, at some point, they got to turn it around, right? At some point. But they're playing on the road, and they, I guess, got beat up early on against the Niners and, like, had some garbage time kind of stats there towards the end. But they just don't look good, man. I don't know if it's because of Parsons is being out, and I'm looking at see if he maybe will be back this week. He's questionable right now, so I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll probably just go Falcons here just because they're home. I feel like at some point, maybe it's my own bias. I feel like at some point the Cowboys got to turn it around because, like, yeah, they never do stuff in the playoffs, but they're usually being a decent, like, regular season team. So seeing them struggle this much seems a little bit weird to me. I don't know, but I'll go Falcons here.
Yeah, honestly, and I wouldn't be surprised if Micah Parsons does play this week. I know there was some conversation about him potentially making a return against the 49ers, but they decided to let him sit one more week to make sure he was fully healed. With that in mind, I mean, even the point spread makes this tough because as we kind of discussed before, usually a home team in the betting spreads gets plus or -3 automatically. You get that home field advantage. And this only has the Falcons as a 2.5-point favorite. So that means technically the Vegas is expecting the Cowboys to actually pull out a win in this. So they must know something that we don't know about Micah Parsons and his potential impact on a return. So that could definitely give the Cowboys the boost they need. They're also kind of really down to luck. This is really a season-determining game. If they lose this, I really don't see how they get back into the season and have any kind of conversation with the playoffs at all. The Falcons, on the other hand, again, they're competing to not only just take the NFC South, but to get a high seeding as well. So they need this win to keep up with the Lions for that number 1 seed, which I believe the Lions have right now. If I never top my head correctly.
They do.
Okay.
Yeah, they do.
So that's going to make this game very, very tough for both sides. It's going to be a highly competitive game. But I'm going to take the Falcons for this reason. The Cowboys' biggest issue this year, and I believe it's probably why we're seeing them suck a lot more than we have, is they can't stop the run. I mean, they're built to stop the pass. Micah Parsons is one of the best pass rushers in the league. They have some of the best corners in Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs in the league. But this year, as we kind of commented before we got on camera about the stats of, from receiving and passing this year and rushing, is the league has shifted heavily to rushing this year. I mean, Derrick Henry's already almost at 1,000 yards, and we're only halfway through the year. And the Falcons are another one of those teams that's fantastic at running the ball. They have Bijan Robinson. They have, I'm not going to try to say his last name because I always mess it up, but Tyler, you know the last name.
Algier.
Tyler Alligator back there in Atlanta. So I think it's a two-headed monster that I don't believe Dallas is going to be able to stop. They haven't shown they can stop the run at all last year. Last week, even Isaac Garendo was like the 5th string running back for the 49ers, just ripped them to shreds. So that's a massive problem. So for that reason, give me the Falcons in this one.
Yeah, agreed. Next, we got the Washington Commanders against the New York Football Giants.
Commanders, I have no respect for the Giants.
It's actually weird. I was thinking about this today. I'm like, the Giants are low-key, like, kind of frisky. They just can't finish games. Like, I think they're a tier below frisky because they can't win the games, of course. But, like, they're so in it. Like, even last day, they kind of hung around a little bit. Against the Bengals, they kind of hung around a little bit. They just can't win.
they're like horny teenagers with no riz, right? They want it so bad, but they can't actually pick up a girl. So,
yeah, they keep showing up with pickup lines, but they can't take the girl home. It's like this. Like there's always there.
Well, you know? They show up. They see the girl that they're interested in. They show up, and then before they can get the word out, they piss down their own leg, and just kind of get laughed at by the rest of the league and us as viewers. So that's probably more on point with them. Frisky feels like too strong of a word. Frisky at least means you have a chance, right? Yeah. Frisky is the ugly guy that still gets the girl. They're the inverse of that.
You're right. And I wonder why the spread is only 4 points. Like, that makes me feel a little bit weird. But regardless, I'm going to pick Washington because, like you said, it's the Giants. So it's pretty easy here. Yeah, so give me the Commanders here.
Next up on the docket, we have the Chicago Bears, who are coming off a heartbreaking loss against the Arizona Cardinals, who are coming up with another upset win, another comeback win. Who are you taking, Mr. Bears fan?
I'll keep this easy. Cardinals. I'm never picking the Bears again. I'm never picking them. I don't care if they play. They already played the Panthers, but if they were playing the Panthers again, I would pick Panthers. I'm never picking the Bears, ever. We know the stat that Eberflus is 3-17 on the road, so that's one reason why they're not going to win. Second, do you know the last time the Bears won a road game that was played on a Sunday?
They've won a road game that wasn't played on Sunday?
When was the last time they won a road game that was not played on a Sunday?
That was not played on a Sunday.
Yes. Or I guess that was played on a Sunday.
Okay. So
regardless, the last time they won a road game that was played on a Sunday was December 26, 2021. Oh,
wow, I was way off. I said the Obama
We're talking 3 years. We're talking 3 years, dude.
But, I mean, that's a whole side conversation that we won't get into right now. I just want to point out, that's pre-Eberflus, right?
Oh, I guess, yeah. So you talk about franchise, like, as a whole trench, and then you have him 3-17 on the road, right? Yeah. And the point is, dude, they're not gonna fucking win. Give me the fucking Cardinals.
I mean, you make it hard for me to kind of lay out any kind of argument for the Bears. I will include, based on what we saw last week from the Bears post game, not even like during the game, post game, we kind of got the inclination a little bit that Eberflus might be losing that locker room with the way guys are coming out defending their players against Eberflus. And that's never a really great thing. Coming off a heartbreaking loss, it's tough to kind of get into it for that next game. It takes a little bit for you to reel back in. And the fact that the Bears switched their Wednesday practice, which is normally open to the media, to a walkthrough, so it'd be completely closed off in private, tells me that they're having some deep conversations that day and not really doing probably a whole lot of practicing. So when you already got all those distractions going on, plus the record of the 3-17, you're going to a frisky. This is an actual frisky team in Arizona who has got several good comeback wins. I'm with you. I'm taking the Cardinals in this one.
Yeah, easy choice. Jaguars versus the Eagles. Who are you taking here?
Eagles. Again, this is I usually want to make a case for both, but the Jaguars are clearly in a sell mode. They just traded their starting left tackle to Minnesota. It's hard to play team. It's hard to keep your quarterback protected without your starting left tackle. So they played the Packers well last week, but the Eagles have. Their defense is still the defense. Their offense has been playing well with AJ Brown coming back in ways Saquon Barkley has fit in. So it's tough to make a case for me for the Jaguars at all. Give me the Eagles in this one.
Yeah, Eagles. Enough said.
Yeah. Up next, we have the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Seattle Seahawks.
This is a tough one. I think I'm going to go with the Rams here because they played the Vikings well. They obviously won. They're getting more healthy on offense. And I kind of lost my second point. But yeah, Rams. give me the Rams.
Yeah, and this one's going to be, as you can see by the spread, this one's going to be a close one again. It's tough to kind of, I guess at this point, figure out who these teams are. The Seattle looked pretty dominant for a few weeks there and then fell off. And then they had a great game against the Falcons. and then I believe they got embarrassed last week, right? I remember that correctly.
The Falcons or the Seahawks? Sorry,
I'm sorry, the Seahawks. They beat the Falcons. Then the last week they got embarrassed, or past Sunday. And then you have the Rams, who again look dead in the water. There were suggestions of Cooper Kupp being traded, but now since Cooper's come back, they seem like a whole new revitalized team, and they're not trading anybody. They're willing to add. So this is a tough battle to figure out, and it's also a matchup of strengths too, because on the Seattle side, they have a terrible O-line. They cannot keep Geno Smith protected. It's why he leads the league in attempts. And most of those attempts are essentially just replacing a run game that has been non-existent because he's just trying to get the ball out quick. So there's that. And the Rams have a fantastic pass rush, as we've talked on here several times. Brandon Frisk, Jared Verse, Byron Young are all phenomenal young pass rushers, defensive linemen. On the flip side, like I just mentioned, the Seahawks want to throw the ball a lot. That's been their MO all year. They keep mentioning we need to run the ball, but this is the same offense coordinator as in for the Washington Huskies last year. We saw how that went with Michael Penix. So he wants to air that hoe out. So, and they're facing off against the Rams secondary, which has not been stellar this year. You know, Cameron Curl's been okay. Tre'Davious White's now on the trading block. I believe they're still playing Ahkello Witherspoon. They haven't been phenomenal. They've really been relying on that front pass rush to try to get home at the quarterback. So it's going to be a good matchup of strengths and seeing who can edge out a little bit here. I am going to go with. I'll go Seattle in this one. I am going to go Seattle with this one. That's a tough pick. I don't know if that, because the Rams did get a huge boost in the fact that Christian Darrisaw went down last week and completely wiped out any offense for the Vikings. I don't think they get that same luck this week, and it's in Seattle. So give me the Seahawks in this one.
I like it. Next, we got an NFC North matchup. Two heavyweights. The Lions against the Packers. Who are you taking here?
Okay, yeah, you nailed it. This is an absolute heavyweight, especially in the NFC North, which has looked like the best division of football this year. The Packers on offense I feel like they've been so hot, cold. You know, Jordan Love especially. You know, he's either making spectacular highlight reel throws or he's making these boneheaded picks. He really is the reincarnation of Brett Favre. And on the flip side, the Lions look unstoppable right now. They do look like one of the best, if not the best team in football, which has to feel phenomenal for Lions fans after all the years of suffering they've kind of gone through here. I am going to go with the Lions in this one. Just like I said, they look like they're on this unstoppable course right now. I don't know if there's anyone in the league right now that could legitimately beat them. I'm curious to see how they look against Kansas City, but right now unless something changes, they seem like the team to beat in the NFL.
Yeah, give me the Lions too. I don't even know if Jordan Love is really healthy. He had to leave the game last week. So I'm guessing he will still start, but again, like he will be somewhat immobile back there in the pocket. I think he hurt his groin this past week. It wasn't his knee. I think it was his groin I heard, but it could also be his knee.
The old dick injury.
Yeah, exactly. And then, the Packers are also kind of struggled against stopping Joe Mixon when they played the Texans, and obviously the Lions love to run the ball. So I can kind of see Gibbs and David is kind of just gashing him a little bit, and also the Lions are just the better team, I think. So give me the Lions here.
So we are pressed for a little bit of time here. We're kind of running a little late. If you're still watching with us, thank you so much for sticking around this long. I hope you've enjoyed our analysis and picks so far. But we are going to try to go lightning round in here just so we can get this wrapped up and not take up so much more of our time. And the last two games kind of seem like give-me's anyway. So first up, we have the Colts and Vikings. Who are you taking real quick, B?
I'm going to go Vikings. I love Joe Flacco. He's my man. He's my boy. But I'm going to go Vikings here. I think the Vikings are a better team. But I like the Colts.
I'm going to go Colts in this one. I know the Vikings just added a left tackle in Cam Robinson. He's not as good as Darrisaw. I don't think he's going to be able to stop the pressure as much as Darrisaw does. And as we kind of have a video coming out, I think tomorrow, that covers how terrible Sam Darnold's been when under pressure. Colts are one of the top pass rushing teams in the league right now. Give me the Colts in this one. And for our final game, B, Monday Night Football, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Who you got?
Chiefs.
I'm right there with you, Chiefs. I can't think of any reason to pick for the Buccaneers. Top receivers are out. we just kind of talked about how the Chiefs are, I believe it was off camera. If they put up over 20 points, they know they're winning. There's only been one team that's put up over more than 20 points against them. That was the Bengals week 2. They're one of the teams to beat, and I don't think the Buccaneers are the team to do it.